Hello and welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor, helping you realize your dreams of owning a home or investing in one. Well, it's been a while, but I have seen this hack posted that is encouraging people to buy a home, live in it for 2 years, sell it, and then buy another home and move into it. I would say to you guys, go with a seed of caution when it comes to implementing these type of quote-unquote hacks. This hack is supposedly will give you the ability to accumulate wealth quickly so that you can retire early. The reason why I say that you should proceed with caution is because this does not work in all instances. Now, you may say to yourself, well, first of all, why did they even say 2 years? Well, it's because when you stay in a property for 2 years or longer, you typically either avoid capital gains tax or your capital gains tax will be lower. Again, I'm not an accountant. And you know that these laws change. That's number one. And then number two, because the laws are different from county to county, I can't say that it'll work. Say that the 2-year capital gains thing is going to be the same, across the land. So, and then the same way I can't say it, I think it's wrong for other people to say that you should stay in your home 2 years for that same reason, okay? Another reason why I'm against, not totally against it. I'm only for it if it works for you and if it works for where you live, all right? So let me just clarify that and put that out there. But here's the other issue that they fail to realize too. Some of them are saying, well, you'll qualify for first-time homeowners program. That, for the most part, for most of the federal grants and most of the funding that you get from many of these banks, that's not true. Actually, in order to be a first-time home buyer, it has to be 3 years in which you did not previously own a home. So if you only lived in the home 2 years, typically you're not going to qualify for most first-time home buyer programs. I don't know where these people live. I don't know what bank they're using, but most national banks, that's not how that works. Okay? So again, if anything, the real play would really be to stay in the home for 3 or 4 years as opposed to staying there for just 2. Next, as I mentioned, when it comes to a lot of funding from banks and even government, they a lot of times like for you to stay there 5, 10, or even 25 years, right? So when you're getting these grants, you really need to read what is the term, how long do they expect for you to live in that property before you can quote unquote pick up and move and go to another property. Because I'll tell you this, the one that I have is 25 years. All right. It's either you pay off the mortgage, or you stay there 25 years. If you sell the property before that time, for example, like let's say I was to sell the property after living here 2 years, I would have had to pay the full amount back to the government, as well as pay money back to the bank, because the bank had a funding program at that time as well for people who were born here in New York City, who lived in New York City in a particular neighborhood, in this particular neighborhood. So again, that particular quote unquote trick that they have is not feasible for everybody. Everybody cannot implement that. It would actually hurt them and not help them. The other issue is this. Yes, typically homes do appreciate, but there have been times when homes depreciated. For example, we just got through the pandemic, right? During the pandemic, the very, very, very beginning of it, many home values actually went down instead of going up, right? It wasn't until, I would say, in the middle of the pandemic that home prices started to go back up. So timing is very important. You can't just say, okay, every 2 years, I'm going to go and sell it, because actually, instead of making a profit, you may actually make a loss. So guys, just take heed, proceed with caution whenever you read an article, even if it's by a reputable magazine or newsletter on the internet, a reputable blog, or even a reputable social media platform. Because sometimes what they say is not true, believe it or not, number one. Number two, even if it is true, it's only true for those people. It's not necessarily true for you. That's why, again, you have to do your own math. You have to see if the numbers will add up for you, because sometimes some of these quote unquote tricks or hacks that they have are going to actually trick you out of your own money instead of getting you to the place where you want to be. All right. So guys, again, check with your banker first. You can also check with HUD, and you can also check with your accountant. And guess what, guys? That advice is free. You don't even have to pay for that. You don't have to pay to find out whether or not this is going to work for you or not. It should all be free. All right. So guys, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully this information will help you make smart financial moves. Remember, feel free to pass this, share this amongst your friends. Each one, teach one, reach, Each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.